Yeah.
if he can get it connected.
Yeah, he's there.
Hi. I was just gonna say, I just barely started the stream, so. Maybe go out and come in. But let me know, because if you're not seeing it, but maybe other people aren't seeing it too. Mm-mm. Okay, Misha. I can. Okay, yeah, I can hit it, because right now, but there's nothing showing. It's black. I don't know what that means. Let me see. Oh no, if you click on the, okay, can you see the black, the little black screen that says live now next to it? Let me see. Oh no, if you click on the, okay, can you see the black, the little black screen that says live now? Let me see, okay, let me try it again. Oh, yeah, it is. It is pink, but give me a second and I'll just try it again. Oh, I can get it on speaker and then get it on microphone. Okay, keep trying. Go out, come back in. But just click on that where it says device recording now. Well, I can get it on microphone and get it on speaker. Okay, keep trying. It's saying live now. But just click on that where it says device recording now. I'm going to do it on speaker. Microphone and get it on speaker. Okay, keep trying. It's saying live now. Just click on that where it says device recording now. No, I can hear it. It's device recording now. It's saying live now. Click on that. No, I can hear it. It's device recording now. Okay. It's saying live now. Click on that.
You ready?
No, I can hear it. It's
You
device
ready, Callie? Okay. You ready?
No, I can hear it. It's
You ready, Callie?
Yeah, you can use it.
Okay. You ready?
He doesn't know though.
You ready, Callie?
Yeah, you can use it.
Okay.
That's right.
You ready?
He doesn't know though.
You ready, Callie?
Yeah, you can use it.
Okay.
You just have to deal with it.
You ready?
Take
He
him off
doesn't know
speaker
though.
for now.
You ready, Callie?
Yeah, you can use it.
Okay.
You just have to deal with it.
Okay. Cleve, you ready?
He doesn't know
Ready?
though.
Jim? Matt? Okay. I call the Parowan City Council meeting to order for January 14th, 2021, and we'd like to welcome all our staff and residents. I call the Parowan City Council meeting tonight for January 14th, 2021. And we'd like to welcome all our staff. We'll start off residents. First, the mayor has asked to be excused tonight, and Dave is on here. Electronic staff here. We'll start off. We have a full council. The mayor has asked to be excused tonight, and Dave is on. If you can't hear me, that's good. Electronic staff here. We'll start off. We have a full council. The mayor has asked to be excused tonight, and Dave is on. If you can't hear me, that's good. Electronic staff here. We'll start off with residents, a full council. The mayor has asked to be excused.
It's like delayed, but.
Dave is
No, it's
on. If you can't hear me, that's
I get
good.
it.
Electronic staff here. We'll start off with residents, a full council. The mayor has asked to be excused.
It's like delayed, but.
Dave is
No, it's
on.
over and over again. I get it.
Electronic staff here. We'll start off with residents, a full council. The mayor has asked to be excused.
It's like delayed, but.
Dave is
No, it's
on.
over and over again. I get it.
Electronic staff here. We'll start off with residents, a full council. I saw the spaceship. You're good, Callie? Okay. We're glad to have Todd Gale here tonight. He's volunteered or been volunteered to give our opening prayer and then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father in heaven, we are indeed grateful for our many blessings. We're grateful for this free country that we live in. Please bless our country at this time, that Thy Spirit will be with it, that we will have peace, that we'll have particular peace in our nation's capital. Please be with members of our military as they serve, and watch over them and protect them. In particular, watch over our local troops that will be that are deployed to Washington, D.C., and be with them, that no harm or accident will come to any of them, and that they will be at peace, and all will be well with them. We're thankful for the freedoms that we have in this country and for the government that we have, and we're thankful for this city council. Please be with them, that they may work through and make the decisions that will be to the benefit of all of us as Parowan citizens. We open this meeting unto Thee and ask for Thy Spirit, and we say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would you please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay, are there any conflicts or personal interests that need to be declared at this time? Patty?
No.
Jim?
No.
Matt?
No.
Dave? That's okay. Okay, we'll move on. We'll open it up now for public comment. Any public comments, we remind you to try to hold it to 2 minutes. And when you come to the microphone, please state your name, and the mic is open for public comments. Forever hold your peace. Okay, we'll continue on with the consent meeting. I'll entertain a motion on the consent part of the meeting.
I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1, 2, and 3 as printed.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. We'll move on now to our action meeting. Item number 4, urban forestry presentation, and Mr. Ryan Johnson will do this presentation. You have, there we go. I have a happy thing to talk about for once. I think we've all had enough of bad news for a while. Like you said, I'm Ryan Johnson. I'm the Urban and Community Forester for the southwest area of Utah. So if you need any help with your city trees, I'm the guy. I grew up here actually in Summit, and Jim, you might recognize me.
Well, except for the mask.
Except for the mask, yeah. Jim's one of the teachers that I had, and I'm sure he's thinking, who's this guy who shows up like a bad penny?
Oh, glad to have you. Glad to have you.
Jim's one of my...
You did a good job. I take full credit for all your success.
Well, I appreciate everything you did. It was, you're one of my personal favorite teachers, so. If just to start off with, if you need anything, put me to work. This is my hometown, so. I'm here to celebrate Dr. Ron Roth. If you'd like to stand up, Ron. He's been honored with he's the winner of the 2020 Utah Forest Stewardship Award. The reasons we've decided to honor Ron like this is his long relationship with the community of forestry. If you move to the next slide, please. One of the things that he has been instrumental in is rehabbing this park that's not far from his home here in Cedar City.
Parowan.
Or in Parowan, excuse me. My bad. It's all one city to me. I grew up in Summit, remember. Dr. Pretty Meek's Pioneer Farmstead, it was damaged quite badly after the fire. When floods came through, and it's sort of, people have kind of stopped using it, and he's been very instrumental in doing a lot of rehab. And in fact, if you'll move to the next slide, please. This is the extension. This is Darren McAvoy, and he's an extension professor at SUU, and Dr. Roth and he have been corresponding for, I think, well over a decade. Isn't that right? More than that. Yeah. Apparently, Dr. Ron and he have carried on quite a correspondence, and he has a large file of letters that they've written back and forth. And as I've come to know, he writes quite interesting correspondence. I wish I was the writer that you are, Dr. Ron. He was the one who put him up for the award and convinced us all that was the right thing to do. And I have just recently got to know Dr. Roth, and I was definitely in favor of it, among many others. Would you move to the next slide? We usually give this award in a big banquet, and we invite these people, but just like everything, COVID put a big bomb in that. So it was really nice to see a lot of people show up for the award ceremony in the park. We were able to safely gather, and everybody was wearing masks and social distancing, but I was really pleased to see the turnout. Could you move to the next slide, please?
this is I wasn't aware of this person. He's quite a character, Mike Thornton. He was kind enough to compose a song honoring Dr. Roth for the occasion. It was quite a good little song. I was pretty impressed. It's good to learn some of the things that he and Dr. Roth had done together. Could you please move on? This is another thing that Dr. Roth did was he planted quite a few trees, and I think it was over $4,000 that you spent on the trees. Of course, closer to 3. Right, and he planted them and has been watering them and caring for them quite well, it looks like to me. And he's been putting in a lot of hours rehabbing the park. Would you continue, please? Thank you. And that's another view of the trees that he planted. You can see the hose that he's got coming out. It's coming across the street and to water the trees while they're getting established. Could you go to the next one, please? Oh shoot. Well, sorry about that. The picture got messed up. But another thing that he's done that got our attention was he purchased a tree that was in danger of being destroyed. It's quite an impressive tree. This is a juniper, and I've never seen one quite that large, and it actually competes pretty well with the tree that's the largest. And he purchased the land underneath it just to save the tree. I don't know how much that cost him, but that's pretty impressive to me. It was something that could have easily been torn out just for somebody to build a cabin right where it is. And that's just above Summit, they're above Braffitts Creek. And I was able to go up with Darren McAvoy, that's he and Darren McAvoy under the tree. Sorry it's messed up, it wasn't like that when I built it. Go to the next one, please. Maybe we get a better picture here. Yeah, that's the extension professor from SUU and Dr. Roth standing under the tree. And you're probably familiar with that species. They just don't get that big, generally. Would you go to the next one, please? This is the Geraldine juniper, and it's just up Logan Canyon. It's quite an impressive tree, but it's almost dead. Could you go back one? You can't really see the crown on this one here, but you can see that the bark is all completely. It's a very healthy tree. It's quite impressive. If you ever get the chance, go up there with Dr. Roth and have a look at it. It's quite something. Please go ahead. As you can see, go back one. As you can see, this one's almost dead compared to Dr. Roth's tree. Thank you. I just wanted to be here to celebrate that award and celebrate Dr. Roth's contribution. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you. Okay, now the next item on the agenda is audit presentation.
Judy's told me they're running late, they're not here yet.
Okay.
Can we
Skip?
go on to the next item?
Okay.
Circle back?
Okay, we need to, item number 6. We talked about this in the last meeting, but we need to act on it. And Cleve, do you want to kind of say what it is? And
I wasn't here for this one, but this is to benefit the military that's deployed. Is this the one we're doing, right, the resolution?
did we get it all rewritten and everything?
Yes.
So, okay.
I wrote it, and then they made some changes to it we've had more knowledge of military terms than I did.
It's okay.
Yeah, but most of them can't be printed.
Yeah.
It's simply to show the support, to help support. Two gentlemen sitting there have a general idea of what military pay can do to you, if you get it. Sometimes it's screwed up for months, but this does help the families of deployed. It is a thank you, and this was discussed at a meeting I wasn't here in December.
Mhm.
I was hoping the council, if they pass this resolution, will take this and make it retroactive as of December 1st.
December 1st or January 1st?
December 1st, that's when our first local deployment
Deployed,
Yeah.
went out.
yes. Okay,
I move that we pass, resolution 2021-01-01, military discount, and make it retroactive to December 1st, 2020.
I second.
all in favor, say aye.
It's a roll call
Aye.
vote,
Or is it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a resolution.
Patty,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
Dave? Can you hear us? Okay, we'll move on, well, let's see,
We got enough?
There's a quorum, yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Dave, thank you. The resolution passes, thank you. Okay, we move on to, Family First, Coronavirus Response Act, and the council has seen this, but one of the staff want to just tell us, everybody what it is.
This had an expiration date after it came down through to us early last spring. It gave all employees up to 80 hours of downtime to use in relationship for COVID, whether it's your quarantining, waiting tests. It gave 80 hours. Now, it expired December 31st, and that's when the CARES Act money was supposed to be spent, done. Well, that got extended for 1 year to December 31st, 2021. We have this date, the county has used March 31st, 2021 to extend. Other cities have done this. I spoke with the staff today. Since we can extend our CARES Act money, I propose that we extend that date to the end of this current fiscal year, because we can use the COVID money if necessary. It just extends this. Some of the staff have used the 80 hours because they've been down. Some have not used any. We had one employee that was on both sides, 4 days short, and then it expired, and then he did another 4 or 5 days in January. So if we make this extension, I think it's not going to harm anything. It's just that doesn't affect our budget in any way. It just takes action by the council. So the staff is in agreement that we ask that this be moved forward, but instead of the date of March 31st, 2021, you extend it to the end of the fiscal year of June 30th, 2021. We just need a motion, Cleve? Yes. I'll entertain a motion to extend the Family First Coronavirus Release Act extension.
I'll make a motion, that we, accept this Family First Coronavirus Response Act extension for Parowan City employees through December 31st of 21.
Can we make that this fiscal year? Because there's quite possible we'll have an additional one coming out, we just don't know.
Okay.
I think that's why some of the counties have been a little bit reserved, but that's when we have to finalize our COVID money with the state anyway.
So make it through the fiscal year.
Yes, June 30th, 2021.
Yep, June
Thank you.
30th, 2021.
Do I have a second?
Let me ask him a quick question. Cleve, do we already have this money?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Is it a roll call?
No.
No.
Did you want to ask Dave, see if he wants to aye that too?
Dave, you want to vote? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we move on to, item number 8, final plat amendment for Lot 13 in Mountain Valley subdivision. Cleve, you want to?
This is similar to one that was done across the street in September. Since it's in a platted subdivision, it takes a plat amendment, not just a simple lot split. There's the final plat, it's been reviewed, it has been recommended for approval from the
Zoning.
Planning Commission in November. Our surveyor has signed off on it, and so it simply, takes action by the council to accept that final plat.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept the final plat amendment for Lot 13 Mountain Valley subdivision as presented by the Adams Survey and Engineering.
I second.
Patty seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Did Dave vote? Okay, motion passes. We'll move on to item number 9, final FBO lease agreement.
This has been a long time coming. It went through various stages, and I know that you've seen the copy, read it. I don't know if you have any comments. Mr. Lauer with Parowan Aviation Nation is here for any comments. Justin has done a lot of comments. Do you have any other comments that you'd like to make at this time?
Well, my biggest concern is apparently we have a lot of leaks in the roof and the structural not the structural integrity of the building, but just the leaks, and I want to make sure that this isn't something that would be utilized in the contract to say that we breached the contract. We have a limited amount of budget. My understanding is we have $10,000 a year that you allot to the airport. I just want to make sure the airport's usable in its current condition. Is that right?
It is, yes. I did some assessment work last couple of days on the roof. Talked with Councilman Harris, Nick. Not what I expected to find, but found a very fixable and manageable situation. Some skylights leaking, some penetrations to the roof for mechanical
Something
stuff.
can be fixed. My biggest concern was, it's not a habitable building, obviously, so it's not under Title 57, but I am concerned that we have a building that's usable, and we need to, if we're gonna provide a building and someone's gonna do a lot of work on it and pay through, I think it's through, I guess, in-kind trade, essentially is what we're
Right.
doing, and then we'll pay for some of the parts as I read the contract. I just want to make sure that that contract is not, we're not gonna get a situation where if we don't get all the roof leaks fixed, we're all of a sudden in breach of contract. So, as long as that's taken care of, and that was my biggest concern, was
I
the
spoke
building.
with Nick on the roof condition. I found very fixable. This is not something that's gonna take a complete re-roofing.
$20,000 is what you're saying.
Right. This can be simply remedied.
Okay, that was my only concern.
Thank you.
Do we actually have a proposal yet to do that foam and white?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
And once we execute the agreement, it would be something that, you would have to, mutually agree to. City council, proposals, here they are, we agree. So,
That's the way it's spelled out.
We were talking about usually we'd have to do in a little time anyway. It needs to be warm.
absolutely.
So that's another little,
And take into consideration, if there's work that our crews can do, cleaning up, doing things like that, definitely. Just limit the cost.
so do we need a motion or?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mick, do you have anything to add to that?
No, as Mick Lauer. So no, as we discussed, yes, there are some leaks, very manageable leaks. We have a total, just in case you're wondering, of 53 buckets out there, but strategically placed, and kids that are on their task list to make sure those buckets are empty, if we have snow or something like that. But easily manageable. It doesn't really affect us at all, just something that we need to take care of, in the future. But as Cleve said, definitely fixable. It's not going to raise too much alarm, and I don't object to anything, that we're doing. It's all manageable.
Okay, thanks, Mick. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
You're good, Ed.
Before I make a motion, I would just like to say that I appreciate all the work that Justin has done, and Mick, you, and of course Cleve. I just really think that it's in the best interest of Parowan to get this airport functioning and make it an asset rather than the liability that it's been. And I really appreciate all of the work that the staff has done, and we're glad to have you here. At least I am. I really am glad
Yeah, we
to have
are.
you here.
Thank you. And just to add to that, response from SUU, if you're ever driving around or anything, you'll notice that there's a lot more air traffic in the air. So SUU asked me, when will you be able to start maintenance? I told them February 1st, give me a chance to get L up here. They responded by the Christmas Eve by delivering the first aircraft.
Great.
So didn't pay any attention to my February 1st request. They delivered the aircraft and said, we understand, but here you go, get started. So we're on a good track. We got a lot of aircraft coming in. My helicopters are still coming in. A lot of talk. Fuel system is 100% up and operational. Big, huge sign up there. Everything's working just fine. We're in negotiations now. Michael, the head of the SUU Aviation Department, is pulling the contract of the fuel for Cedar City. He's going to give it to Dave. Dave's going to try to match it, so there will also be, because it looks beautiful to have all these aircraft in there.
Yeah,
We're not spending any money, so I've got to get them out of the air onto the ground, spending a little bit of money with us, and we'll be just fine.
That's good. Thanks, Mick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I move that we accept the final FBO lease agreement
I'll second it.
between Parowan City and Parowan Aviation Nation.
I'll second it.
A second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Did you want to give Dave a chance, Callie, or move along? Okay. Motion carries. Thanks, Dave. Okay, now we'll jump back to item number 5, the audit presentation by Ms. Kelly Jones from Hinton & Burdick. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for waiting. Kelly's been talking to me.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right. So as mentioned, my name is Kelly Jones. I work for Hinton Burdick CPAs out of St. George. I am the audit manager for the Parowan City Audit, and I'm here to present the 2020 fiscal year financial statements. Callie's ready. Hope you're fine. So first, I just want to say thank you to Parowan staff. They are always very helpful. We enjoy coming and doing this audit, and with everything going on, it was still just a quick couple days in and out, so it just worked out really well. So thank you to them. Just to kind of as a side note, in the front of the financial statements, we do have the management discussion and analysis. If you're just looking for a more summarized version of the financial statements, you can read that there in the MD&A at the beginning. And then if you have any questions, just let me know as I go through the presentation. So, I'm just going to go over the major funds and where they ended at the end of fiscal year 2020 and what you brought into fiscal year 2021. Here's on the graph is the general fund. You can find that on page 21 and 18 and 19 of your financial statements, and then the budget to actual is on page 52. As you can see on the graph, unassigned fund balance, or monies that can be used to spend on general operations, increased from $380,000 to $469,000 at the end of fiscal year, from fiscal year 19 to fiscal year 20. So you're taking $469,000 into fiscal year 21 to be used on general operations. That's not restricted or assigned to any specific project. The bottom line is your restricted fund balance. There's $72,000 there. That is all related to park impact fees. I do believe that there is a swimming pool project or something planned to use those in the future, but those are restricted for park-related items. The GFOA recommends a minimum of 2 months of operating expenses being unassigned. The city has more than 2 months in unassigned to carry over into fiscal year 21. So the general fund looks really good. Next is the water fund. In the water fund, there's 3 classifications of net position: net invested in capital assets, or what's tied up in your capital assets and debt that can't really be used. It's not liquid cash. And then we have restricted and unrestricted. The unrestricted is the green line, kind of in the middle. It increased from fiscal year 19 to fiscal year 20, up to $666,000. So that's, as mentioned, that's unrestricted money that you're taking into fiscal year 21 to be used for general operations that have no restriction on it. The restriction, which is the bottom line, that is restricted for debt payments, and all your debt reserves are covered in that restricted balance. So there are approximately 14 months of operating expenses in unrestricted, so plenty of money to be used in going into fiscal year 21. The next is the sewer fund. I didn't mention with the water, but these utility funds, they're found on page 22 and 23 of the financials. Again, similar with the water fund, it has 3 categories: those tied up in capital assets, unrestricted, and restricted. The unrestricted is the bottom line, but it did increase about $10,000 this year, just from overall net income. Again, the restricted amounts are for debt payments, which are all fully funded. So sewer is stable. It does have about just over 6 months of operating reserves in unrestricted to be carried over into fiscal year 21. And we have the electric fund. The unrestricted is actually the top line, the red line, so there is quite a bit of money in the electric fund. There's actually 33 plus months of operating reserves in unrestricted for the electric fund. And then the bottom line is your restrictions, again tied up for debt payments, and then the blue line is your capital assets, or not liquid items tied up in capital assets. So you have a lot of money in the electric fund going forward. This is just a graph of the cash balances between governmental funds and the proprietary or utility type funds. The top line is the utility funds, so quite a bit of cash there, $5.7 million. And then the bottom is the governmental funds with $1.1 million, but both are up over fiscal year 19, so doing well there. Just some notes of capital assets that were purchased during fiscal year 20, things that the city spent their money on: Lions Park Pavilion, cemetery fence, water projects, sewer projects, just kind of your normal things that you see. The garbage fund irrigation funds aren't considered major funds, but I have listed out some information here. Both of them have an increase in net position and an increase in unrestricted that you're taking into fiscal year 2021. The garbage fund has over 7 months in operating reserves in unrestricted, and pressurized irrigation has 14 plus months of operating reserves. So with that being said, our report, which can be found on page 1, is our independent auditor's report, where we offer our opinion on the audit. We have an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion, which is the highest opinion you can get. Basically, we're saying that there were no material misstatements in the financial statements. On page 65, we have a report on compliance and on internal control, where there were no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies that we would need to disclose to you as the council. And then on page 67 is our last report, which is our state compliance report, which we did have 2 findings in that. If you want to go to the next slide. So you can see here our 2 findings. We have one on justice court costs and one on Open and Public Meetings Act. There's a little bit more information on those detailed on page 71 in our findings and recommendations. Neither of them are material findings. They don't have a lot of significance to the numbers, but things that we do have to report on for state compliance. And then the last page of the financials on page 73 is the management's response to those findings and how they plan to correct those. Are there any questions? Anything you are interested in knowing about the audit?
The report was really good. I think most of us have reviewed it. You do a really good job, Kelly. We appreciate you coming to go through it with us.
Yeah, no problem. But if that's all, that's our contact information. Chad is the partner on the audit, so both of our contacts are listed there. But if not, then thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 10, Planning and Zoning General Plan.
They left, I don't know where they went.
This comes to you from Planning and Zoning. There's been Ryan Robinson, I believe you all know him. He's Mike's son. Thank you. There's 2 options to help us with the general plan that we've been working on. COVID threw a monkey wrench in it. One is they're doing a lot of work with Cedar City. He works for Jones and DeMille, I believe, with their general plan, and we could use some of our COVID money is slated for this. And there was one lump sum from between $2,800 and $3,400, or we spread it out over a payment of $300 a month for 3 years, and there's a lot more additional help there, but MuniCode takes most of that out of this equation. So I think in the lump sum payment of just helping us get it on track would be what I would recommend. And so I would like to forward this to you, or if you would like to opt to the one that the committee opted for, which was option 1, which was the lump sum payment not to exceed $3,450.
The Jones and DeMille to help with
This would be money we would pay to Ryan's, the Rural Communities rural community that works, they're kind of a division of Jones and DeMille, to help us plan and implement.
So a consulting fee to help us get our...
Yes,
Okay.
and the great thing is this is the first time we've had an opportunity to have somebody that has a vested interest in our town
Yeah.
assist in this, and it can get overwhelming. Larry Zajac has been doing a huge amount of work on this plan. It went from a huge 1.5-inch thick document down to 20 pages. It's been back and forth, and you know, it's just one of those things we really need to have a functioning general plan, because often...
So this lump sum, would it pay for a year, or is it...
It's about 40 hours worth of work, but that's when we have 2- and 3-hour meetings.
So he would be there to...
He would come and help assist planning and zoning, and then any presentation that needed to come to city council, get us to make sure we have the right public hearings in place and get this, general plan put forward.
And you said that the planning and zoning wanted the lump sum payment rather than...
Right, because there's been a lot of information collected, worked on. It's just, how do we want to put it all together and make it into a usable general plan? One that doesn't get thrown on the shelf and looked at 5 years later because we have to amend it.
Mm-hmm. One that's in...
Let's make it a living document that it should be.
Does David have any comments, since he's our representative on it? Has he said anything to you, Dave?
He's been at those meetings, that was the last, but, I think that I'm not gonna pressure you to do it right tonight. I want you to see the options and be prepared to, next meeting.
So where would that lump sum, it comes from, the money come from, sorry?
We could use CARES Act.
Okay, we can use CARES Act, so.
So Chris...
Do we need to table it since it's under our action?
Yes, I would suggest that be the case, and then I can get you his proposal.
Okay.
To review. It's only one page, it gives you some great information, but planning and zoning, huge sigh of relief to get this kind of assistance.
Okay.
And someone with a native background is pretty unique.
I make a motion that we table, item number 10 on the action meeting, the planning and zoning general plan, to the, January 28th city council meeting.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Did Dave say nay? Does he want to vote? Thanks, Dave.
Thank you for finding that.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Need to do what?
Tell him to get ready to vote. So do I have a motion? Okay, do I have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept the audit that was just presented to us.
I second that.
Is that a roll call, Callie? No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I thought I heard him say aye, didn't he?
You can't.
Oh, okay. Are we good, Callie? Okay, we'll move on to item number 11, set date for open meeting, sexual harassment training, council retreat, work meeting.
Oh,
We would like to,
what's that all about?
I spoke with Justin will be teaching these classes. We'd like to have the employees attend also on the 22nd, 11 a.m. Then we will have it should take about an hour for those classes, break for lunch, and then come back and have a work meeting, start of the year, kind of working into our budget hearings, seems like we were just doing those, but, it's been a year.
And a hell of a, I
So
mean,
January 22nd, 11 a.m.?
11 a.m.
We
here.
meet here?
Right.
Okay.
If that's okay with everybody, that's...
I want to know who we're supposed to sexually harass while we're here.
Nobody.
You're gonna be in
Okay.
training.
Nobody.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. Do we got a motion on that one?
Yeah.
We're gonna make a motion to set a date for open meeting and sexual harassment training, council retreat and work meeting for January 22nd, 2021.
Have a second?
I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I didn't hear a word he said. Motion passes. We'll move on to the work meeting, item number 12, Water Conservation Plan Review. The council has received this, but Cleve,
This review went through Water Board. Water Board made their recommendations. We sent it to the state, drinking water.
Yeah.
They made their comments, came back. There was just a couple of housekeeping items on it. It's since been fixed. It's basically updating the numbers. But Kelly wanted to be here. He had some family matters to take care of. Imagine that. Bless his soul.
yeah, yeah.
So, I went through it, he and I worked on it quite extensively, then he finished it up after the review came back from the state. I looked at it again, looks great. If there's any comments on that, could we please get them, because we'd like to set a public hearing for the 22nd, because this will be amendment to an ordinance, because this is actually in our ordinance. Oh, excuse me, yes, the 28th is be the public hearing. That's the training on the 22nd, yes, so the 28th, but we will post that, and if you have any questions, updates, or anything that you'd need to address on that, we could certainly make that happen, and then we'd take action on it after the public hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Justin? Oh, did he leave? Oh, have you heard any more on Senator what's-his-name's
No,
water bill?
I have not.
Mr. Water.
They go into session here pretty quick, don't they?
Yeah,
Yes.
Monday.
That's what I thought, so,
Right.
I've been trying to find it, and I haven't found it yet, or...
I haven't had any luck, and
Through the grapevine and my contacts, my network has not put an alert out on it. Everybody's been diligently watching. If it's buried in something, I don't know,
Steve
but...
Berg has been watching it, so that's where we got it from the last council.
And,
So he was gonna,
Plus Justin's really watching it too.
yes,
so I thought he was...
so,
But I like in here that last comment that Kelly made. You know, one of the, what was it, kind of covering this, where, identification of alternatives to meet future water needs. He put on there, investigate the possibility of meter installation on pressurized irrigation system connections when the technology has improved to the point that the meters are able to handle the suspended solids within the irrigation water. So at least
Yeah.
we've got it to where we're looking at it, but we're trying to,
not throw money away,
yeah, what was it, $4.5 million
yes.
for us to,
That was the
Yeah.
estimate.
Wasn't that just parts?
That was,
that was just the meters
Meters.
that have no guarantee.
Yeah.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
minute they're installed,
Yeah.
they're destroyed.
the contractors I talked with were really reluctant. We want them to do the work when the system's off. They wanna do it when it's on, so they can look for leaks immediately. It would be, it's not just the metering, but instead of taking the entire area out, installing valves so you could just isolate a block. So there's a lot of mainline work to update. So no, it was not gonna be
Yeah.
It's not just
That
simply...
4.5 million, that was just for the meters. That was the
Correct.
estimate
That was-
just for
That
the...
was-
My understanding
That wasn't
was,
installation or anything, that
No,
was
and
just
it
the
wasn't,
meters.
it wasn't for any of the dirt work, it
No.
wasn't for any of the upgrades to the mains. It was simply the cost for the valves that are not guaranteed.
Yep,
Well, the meters that...
The meters, not the...
we can't afford it.
If you do not put cold potable water through them, if you read through the guarantees on any meter, it voids the warranty.
Yeah, so we-
Even though a salesman will tell you they'll warranty it. Well, the writing says that they won't.
Well, when the technology comes to where it's the electronic meter instead of the impeller, then we'll look at the price, but even then, it's probably gonna be out of our reach.
Mhm.
Well,
We'd have to quadruple our rates, and it's unsustainable for Parowan.
we've been able to sustain the system for over, since 1987.
Evan, yeah.
It's been over allocated, yet through conservation and watering days, we've been able to keep this
Yeah.
operational.
I mean, it's gonna come down to if they don't trust us to handle our...
Let's face it, our argument is we meter it. It goes through a big meter.
Yeah.
It lasts about 4 years, and we have to put another $8,000 or $10,000 meter in there. We know every gallon that goes in there. And at the end of the day, we only put what water's in that ditch
Yeah.
in it. If there's no water in the
They
ditch,
want it
there's...
to, at the point of...
They want point of delivery to each individual lot, yes.
Yeah.
I say we make a deal with them. If we can get them to guarantee the flow, the same as it is in June, if they can guarantee that flow through October, we'll be glad to put the meters in.
Yeah, that would be something.
Yeah. Okay,
All right, so...
send that to us, so Cleve, and well, you already did. We just did read it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 13, council member reports.
Mhm.
Patty, did you have anything?
Yes, I have a couple things. The library's doing great. We don't meet as often as some of these other ones, but the library looks fantastic. She's got all kinds of neat things for the young kids to come in and participate. Then I just got a report from Mary on PAL. There were a total of 65 dogs taken into the shelter. This is for the 2020. Redeemed 47 of them, sent to a rescue 14, adopted 3. And then one dog escaped over the fence and went back to the vet's office where the owner picked him up. This number of intakes is down, probably because the officer knows where the dog lives, and then they will take the dog home. We've got some great officers out there, guys.
Yeah.
They work very closely with this to keep the dogs off the street and to get them back to where they belong. The library's running smooth, I already said that. Theater board, we've been working very diligently on and thank you, Heather. She is a big part of this. They're putting together a virtual program that's gonna celebrate Parowan's birthday. We couldn't do it on Parowan's birthday because there was already something that was being produced and it was never mind, forget the word. So then we are now doing ours on Saturday. And they put together this virtual program with about 12 different performers, all local from the city of Parowan. And they're going to present this Saturday, January 16th, but all the information on how to get on the site is on the Parowan City website. So I don't want you guys to miss out on this. It's really something special. It's all our own neighbors and friends participating. So, watch it. That's it.
Okay. My report, economic development didn't meet. We haven't met for a couple of months, but we're doing fine there. And we'll meet next month. And also the power board didn't meet because of different, all of you know, COVID here, COVID there. So I don't have anything to report on my committees. Jim?
Historical preservation didn't meet, the water board didn't meet, and the airport board didn't meet, but just once again, as a member of the airport board, we were sure glad to have you.
Yes.
And hopefully this is going to be a benefit to both you and Parowan City, but it's good to finally get our fuel going, and so, good luck. But that's all I have, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Matt?
I don't have anything at this time either. My boards didn't meet.
I have one more thing I forgot to mention,
Go ahead.
and that is, I want to publicly thank Jet for the fabulous program she put together on virtual television type thing. I don't know how many people saw it. Has anybody seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that was a big job, and she did a great job. So I just wanted to publicly thank her.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Patty. Callie, did you have anything?
Yes, I sent that email regarding, Cedar City's Chamber of Commerce. Is there anyone interested in presenting there? You are interested?
No.
I was thinking maybe we should contact our local people and see if there's somebody on
Yeah.
Molly, would Molly do it?
I think she would.
Yeah.
Molly or Dayla
Probably
or
already is.
Jamie
I wouldn't
on
doubt she
it.
already is.
Really? You think she's
Well,
probably part of it?
I would,
It sounded like they wanted somebody from our city council to talk about our economic development, but if you're not.
That would be Jim, wouldn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Good that, well, actually,
The mayor should,
yeah,
Well,
He hasn't gotten back with,
let me look at it again, then I'll let you know,
yeah.
okay?
okay.
Yeah,
Kinda
my
pushing
first
for an answer.
response was no.
I understand, and I told them I would try to have an answer by tomorrow.
Okay,
You can,
okay. Alrighty, Cleve, I wonder if he has anything?
we can ask Dave.
Oh, yes, we have Dave. I think he's been sick for the last couple of weeks.
Dave, do you have anything to report? He has nothing.
Okay,
Nothing.
thanks,
Okay.
Judy.
Mm.
Dave, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Do you have anything to report this evening?
Hard. I mean, we did meet that shade tree commission, but I think I can report it maybe next time.
Okay.
And, yeah, I think it's kind of hard to talk over this, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, I'm getting the feedback. I'm hearing myself twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Hey, but can I say one thing to the council?
Yes.
is it nice, Dave?
If you can hear me, I don't know if you can hear me, but,
Yeah, we can.
Patty mentioned about that, virtual birthday program at the school. I just want to say whoever did the first, preview did a very good job. You know, it was an overview of Parowan before the kids danced, and it was very good, and I think very well presented. If nobody's heard it, or, I mean, if everybody hasn't seen it.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Cleve, did you have anything?
We got quite a delay on here, so,
Okay,
anyway.
thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, we'll move on to item 14.
I make a motion that we move into closed session to discuss the purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, the sale of real property, including any form of water rights and water shares.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Roll call, right? Patty?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
Dave? He probably won't be coming.
Let's see. Dave, we're taking a roll call vote to go into closed session.
I heard him say aye.
I don't think he's listening to the phone. Hello?
We'll move on.
I thought he said
We're
aye.
okay, we have a quorum. Okay. We want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and have a really good week, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Doctor.
I want to thank Ryan for that
Yes.
presentation, really nice.
Thank
I
you.
got a little Bible quote on trees, and Tricia Harris made me a bunch of copies and sent it to the picture, so it's kind of inspiring. Anybody?
Thank you.
I'll just set them right here.
Thank you, Dr. Ross. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Callie, do we need to move, or we're okay?
We can stay.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some stuff from the parents.
Smoke break, boss?
Yeah, hurry, hurry. It hasn't taken that long. We'll wait.